moment to shout out to all of my new friends that I have acquired since the last time I posted. Hello, hi, how are you doing? My name's Amanda. I apologize in advance for the quality of this video. I am filming on my phone because I left my charging cable at work on Friday. But I was not going to let a dead battery keep me from posting what I'm going to be doing this week in speech. So just bear with me. All right, so this week in speech, it is all about fall things. Not quite Halloween yet, I know, I'm a little bummed. But we did apples all last week, and honestly, a lot of the classrooms that I'm pushing into is running with this apple theme until October. So you will probably see more apple activities from me just because that's how the teachers want to roll it out, and some of our kids need a little bit more time with a common theme. But for this week, I am diving into the Scarecrow theme. So we are doing all things fall, and this week it is scarecrows. The first Scarecrow activity that I am doing with a bunch of my different groups this week, I'm just going to kind of tweak it for whatever level I'm working with, but we are going to be making this paper plate scarecrow face. And this was a very poorly thrown together demo version, so theirs will look much, much better. We've got the hat, their face, I've got some hair, which I'm going to be using the construction paper for, not this yellow paper for some of my kids, and then they are going to get to draw their very own scarecrow face on, hopefully with more colors than I chose. But my littlest kids are going to just be doing this activity. Last week's brown bear activity actually took an hour. We went way over our time limit, so I definitely wanted to trim it down, so we are not reading a storybook this week, and we are just going to focus on making the scarecrow, working on vocabulary such as hat, eyes, face, nose, mouth, hair, and then we are going to work on following directions. So this is the activity that I've got for my littlest preschoolers that I push into their classroom, and I kind of do a whole group lesson. It takes a little bit longer because we are working with, I think, 11 or 12 students. So this will be perfect. I think this will take up an adequate amount of time, and plus they're going to hang them up throughout the classroom once they are finished. For my younger articulation friends, we are going to be making the same or similar scarecrow, but instead of using just plain yellow construction paper, I have printed out some articulation words. I've done the S sound, the TH sound, whatever we are targeting, and I've printed them out, so we are going to cut them out and then accordion fold them into little strips like that and glue them on. So the only difference will be that they will have their artic sounds coming off of the hair. And we are going to do these at the word level and the sentence level, and we are going to also hang these up around the speech room along with all of their apples that we did last week. For my language kiddos that are a little too old to be making a scarecrow activity, we are going to be doing some fall silly sentences, and this is kind of a take on what we did last week with the pictures, and then I mixed up a sentence and I put it all out of order and they had to order it and then correct the grammar in it. They loved it. That was probably one of the biggest hits that I've seen. It was a way bigger hit than I thought it was going to be. I was actually pretty shocked. I'd only planned to do it one day, but every group that I had that did it on Tuesday or Monday requested to do it later on in the week when I picked them up again. So I'm not gonna say no. It's a super easy activity, and like I said, we are going to be doing it on a paper version this week. What I might do is still put it on the sentence strips, but I'm going to now have them write it down first. I also printed it on fun green paper because that makes everything better. I'll probably let them use like skinny markers to write with, or maybe some gel pens to kind of really entice them, because in the past, kiddos haven't really liked writing ditto activities, but we will see. These kids are completely different than any children that I've ever worked with before. They are full out reading. They don't need any assistance from me, so they might even enjoy something like this. So I'm excited to see how this goes with them. The other activity that I'm going to be doing with my younger language kiddos is this Scarecrow's Clothes book. It's a tongue twister to say. I do this book probably like every other year. It's excellent for targeting vocabulary. I got it from enchantedlearning.com. They have a bunch of great activities on that website. I will link them down below. I like this one because they are talking about clothing items and vocabulary, and we can just target that. They can also write the sentence In the past, I've had some kiddos do that, but for the children that I'm working with this week and this year, I don't think we're going to be at that level. So we are just going to be working on identifying items on the Scarecrow. So again, that vocabulary component, clothing items, sorting different things, yes, no questions, WH questions, the whole lot. And I love these things because it's something that they can take home and then again, read with their families when they get home. If I have time with some of my other language kiddos, we are going to be making this dancing Scarecrow. I actually have this plan to do instead of the Scarecrow head that we are making this week, but this seems a little bit more complicated, so I'm just gonna kind of leave this as a backup in case we have time and the kids are so inclined to want to make one. I usually hang these from the ceiling on fishing line because it looks like then they're actually dancing, because you use those little copper brad, are they called brad fasteners? To kind of put the arms and legs so they are movable. And then in the past, I've also done different textures. So for a sensory activity, we would do like raffia for the hair and the legs. We would put like little bits of felt on there, some sandpaper, you know, whatever I've kind of got lying around, we could cut and fit on here, and then they can have a tactile Scarecrow as well. So it's just an extra craft that if we've got time and I need to go a little bit more in depth with some of my kiddos, I have this on hand. Last but not least, I know I touched last week on the fact that I was doing a football unit with some of my football crazy groups. I do have two particular groups of boys that love sports and all things active, and I tried it out with the girls. They're not as into it, and that's fine. So we are just going to be doing the more fall craft activities. They seem to really be into that. But for those two groups of boys that I have, we did the footballs last week where they personalized them. And then this week we are going to actually be playing football. So I went to Lowe's and I got a bunch of PVC pipe, and I'm going to have like field goal football. And they have a paper football that I've made, and they are going to try to score a touchdown after they say their sentences. So it's just a fun activity. These boys tend to really like those more competitive game type activities, less so of like the crafts and the sitting down and making things. So I definitely want to appeal to that. This was my best rendition of a football goalpost because A, these are really hard to find a miniature version online, and B, they did not get good reviews. So I think altogether this cost me under $5. And yes, I did get the wrong coupling, but I actually sit the football in there when I'm not using it so that I don't lose it, because I've lost two of them already. But like I said, we just make an origami paper football, and they are going to try to flick it through the goalposts, and we are going to kind of keep score. My goal was to paint it like neon yellow, but in the past, I've not had the best luck painting PVC pipe. I've used regular paint, spray paint, acrylic paint. I've tried sanding it, and that just kind of ruins the whole texture of it. But the paint totally just chips off for me, and it takes at least like 4 or 5 coats, and then it still just chips off. So I didn't bother painting it. I might wrap it with some like crepe paper in yellow just so it covers it and makes it a little bit more appealing. But I think this is an awesome idea if you need a quick, cheap fix for a good motivational activity in either your classroom or your speech room, because my boys really wanted to actually play it last week when I kind of dropped the hint what we were going to be doing, but they had to wait until this week. So I'm super excited for this, kind of trying to run with the whole football theme. I think they're really gonna like it, but we will see, and I will definitely keep you updated. That's everything that I have for this week in speech. Let me know down below what you guys are doing this week in your speech room or your classroom. Also, if you have any video suggestions that you would be curious to see, give this video a thumbs up if you like seeing what I have planned in speech. Hopefully next week or the week after, I will be able to get into the Halloween themed things, which that just makes my heart so happy. Like, that's where I live. I live in the world of Halloween. So I'm very excited to bust out my Halloween activities for this year. I think the kids are gonna love it. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.